Exclusive contract novel from Feilu Novel Network. Is it possible that the mecha I'm talking about is a toy? Yuan travels through time to become a toy customizer, earning a living by receiving orders for handmade toys. One day, a wealthy lady added a friend. Customize an alloy mech with a certain level of maneuverability in super strong battery life, while keeping other things to yourself. I don't want my little sister to shake her hand and accidentally change the size from 200 mm to 200 cm. In line with the customer-oriented principle, Yuan directly opens the system. Start custom task. Super individual exoskeleton mecha, automatically generate a complete set of mecha production drawings and materials. 3 months later. Looking at the super single soldier mecha with precise construction and a strong sense of technology, Yuan was satisfied with packing and delivering it to Miss Jean. The little sister who received the goods saw the humanoid mech inside and called Yuan in confusion. Is there a possibility that the mech I'm talking about is just a toy? Yuan looked innocent and said, "Didn't you say you wanted a size of 200 centimeters? Is there anything else you want to do? I made it exactly according to your requirements." Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Robot Toy Orders. Size 200 centimeters. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lao Lu, can I introduce you to a business or not? My employer is my cousin, not to mention her kindness and beauty, but also a wealthy woman. You must seize the opportunity. How's it going? Are we buddies enough? Xing. In a building near the suburbs, there is a private custom handmade toy workshop hidden. Boss Yuan is lying on the sofa, chatting on video calls with Gu Dashan, who is a bad friend and a partner. On the screen, Gu, who looked cheap, was holding a photo of a beautiful girl with fair skin and a very sunny appearance. But no matter how you look at it, there is no resemblance to this guy at all. Are you sure this is your cousin? At first glance, she doesn't look like you at all. Yuan made a very tricky joke. Don't do this, at least we're also brothers, aren't we? By the way, my cousin is also a military enthusiast, and she really likes those Type 96 main battle tanks and F-22 Raptors. This is your best skill. As long as you can cater to their preferences, you can definitely earn a lot of money, and maybe even bring back beautiful women. TSK, you'll have to give me a discount on anything you say then. No. At the very least, you can waive the customization fee for me. Gu Dashan continued to lick his face and said. No need to talk. I won't do jobs without money. Yuan gave him a white glance. Okay. Let's talk about our matters later. I'll send you Warner's contact information first. On the other end of the phone, Gu Dashan, contrary to usual, did not hesitate on this issue and instead pushed a contact information to Yuan's phone. Let's talk about it when I wake up. Yesterday, I almost drained my entire life by tinkering with the finishing work of that nuclear submarine for you. Yuan was wearing 2 black circles under his eyes. I yawned. Don't do it. Good brother. Big brother, please don't sleep. My cousin borrowed several of our precious toys. Why don't you add her as soon as possible? I estimate all of our precious toys will be wasted by her. Gu Dashan is in a hurry. I wish I could crawl straight through the screen. Yuan raised his eyebrows. This shameless guy has actually been pinched by people at times. TSK. This girl is also amazing. She can borrow a few of his beloved treasures from Gu Dashan's house. You know, this guy values those toys more than his life. It's possible, but shouldn't you give some luck and hardship? Not much, just give it that much. Yuan raised 2 fingers, thinking that if he could catch 200, it would be 200. You step aside. You're still calling me a brother. I didn't expect even you to fall into trouble and ask me for 20,000 yuan in hard work. Gu Dashan pretended to be sad and wailed. However, the movements on his hands were not slow, and in the blink of an eye, he handed over 20,000 yuan to Lu Yuan. Ha! 20,000. When did this guy become so generous? Have a pleasant cooperation. If there's another good thing like this next time, remember to come to me again. Lu Yuan quickly clicked to claim it. Smiling as he hung up the video call, his gaze fell on the contact information just pushed over. The avatar is a beautiful girl paper, with the username Gu Weiner. The few pictures displayed on his social media are the military toys that Gu Dashan had customized for him before. This includes that guy's favorite F-22 Raptor fighter jet. However, just as he finished clicking on the friend application, Gu Dashan sent him another voice message. Lao Lu, please don't look at our face and be soft on your hands. The price has gone up a lot. That little girl from Gu Weiner is much richer than me, and she is also very generous in her actions. I know. Lu Yuan replied 2 words in frustration. Money doesn't make you a bastard. However, she is just a girl, so it's not appropriate for her to be too big and open her mouth. But Gu Dashan has said so, symbolically charging an extra billion yuan for materials and handicrafts. Shouldn't that be okay? Ding dong. Gu Weiner has approved your friend application, you can start chatting now. Friend application approved. Lu Yuan didn't waste time either, he simply typed in on his phone. Hello, may I ask Gu Weiner, Gu Dashan's cousin? I'm Lu Yuan, a handmade toy customization engineer. I heard you want to customize handmade military toys. The other party quickly replied, Hello Mr. Lu, I would like to customize a humanoid alloy mech with a size of 200 centimeters, which requires a load-bearing compartment, certain maneuverability, and super strong endurance. As for other things, you can handle them as you please. Just as Lu Yuan was about to reply with no problem, his face froze noticeably and he said, Miss Gu, are you sure you want to make it according to these requirements? Of course. I've always wanted an alloy mech, but I've tried to find many people but couldn't make it. It can't be Mr. Lu, can't you? Gu Weiner's message quickly popped up from Lu Yuan's phone screen. Okay. Of course I can. Lu Yuan raised his eyebrows. Dare to say you can't do it. Isn't it just a 2-meter tall guy? With the golden finger system in place, he can even achieve a height of 20 meters. Call system. Call system. Your job is here. As Lu Yuan's words fell, in front of his eyes quickly emerged several exquisite 3D machine installation drawings of humanoid mecha. Chapter 2. 1.3 million. The asking price for a toy is. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. At Particle Nanomecha. A super individual exoskeleton mecha created using the latest nanotechnology and combined with the at-particle engine, with super endurance and a manufacturing cost of 200 million renminbi. Lu Yuandian opened the first 3D image of a nanomachine. The rough information about this set of armor quickly surfaced before his eyes. All other functions are very good, and due to the use of nanotechnology, this humanoid mecha can compress the entire exoskeleton mecha into a specific mecha component. It's just that the manufacturing cost of this mecha is too high, requiring 2 billion yuan in material costs. Customizing a toy for 2 billion yuan is a bit outrageous. Lu Yuan shook his head. Directly reject this plan. Looking back at the following 3D mecha. The faint blue lines are full of a sense of technology, and various components also have a more high-tech impact. According to the urinary characteristics of the system. The cheaper the customization plan, the closer it will be to the back area. After all, it's just a toy. All these fancy humanoid exoskeleton mechas, even the wealthiest customers cannot afford them. Gu Daong, who is possessed by magic, is also unwilling to spend too much money on customization, with a maximum limit of only 50.60000 yuan. Anti-missile exoskeleton mecha. Made of the latest tungsten steel titanium alloy and combined with a miniature arc reactor, this basic single-soldier exoskeleton mecha has strong endurance and a manufacturing cost of 1 million RMB. Yuan rubbed his temples. Obviously, this cost also exceeded his expectations. A military toy with a ratio of 100.1 costs less than 30,000 yuan at the highest cost, but this 1.1 replica toy is actually priced at millions of RMB. Miss Gu, I just made a simple plan for the design plan. The basic material cost is 1 million RMB, plus the manual cost, for a total of 130 renminbi. Do you think this price is acceptable? Yuan picked up his phone. Quickly send a message to Gu Wanner. On the other side. Gu Wanner, who was tinkering with the Type 96 main battle tank, picked up her phone and glanced at her two curved eyebrows slightly clustered together. 1.3 million. Is a toy so expensive? Wrinkled his brow and thought for a moment. Gu Wanner called Gu Deong. Gu Bolan, didn't you say that customized toys are very cheap? Why did the price become higher with me? The material cost is 1 million yuan, and the manual customization cost is 300,000 yuan. Did you discuss with Mr. Liu and plan to trick me? No. Cousin. Absolutely not. You have to trust my cousin, how could I be such a person? Gu Daiyong's neck shrank in fear, and his soul was almost gone. Gu Wanner continued to force her, can you tell me what's going on? The military toys you customized cost tens of thousands of yuan each, and I'll end up with millions. If you can't come up with a reason, prepare to spend the second half of the month lying in bed. By the way, your toys are also waiting to be collected. Gu Deong wiped the cold sweat off his forehead and said, Don't do it. Let's have something to say. A gentleman doesn't make a move. If it's a big deal, I'll help you ask and see what the price really is. But he was thinking in his heart. This guy Yuan is too capable. Let him just ask for 1.3 million without being polite. Gone. His cousin is just being generous, but she's not a fool. Call Lao Lu. Call Lao Lu. Are you crazy about money? I just told you not to give me face, and you're asking for 1 or 3 million yuan directly. Now it's okay, she approached me and asked me for an explanation, otherwise I'll have to lie in bed for the second half of the month, and you'll have to come to see me in the hospital. Yuan replied, there's no way. This humanoid exoskeleton mech has no physical object as a reference, and all components need to be manually surveyed, which is time-consuming and laborious. And in terms of functionality, it also requires a certain degree of maneuverability, and the manned function must be retained. Compared to the previous Type 96 main battle tank, the F-22 Raptor fighter jet is much more difficult. What? Human-shaped exoskeleton mecha. Isn't she a customized ordinary military toy? Gu Deong rubbed his ears. Instantly understand why this price is so outrageous. Previously, when he customized the Type 96 main battle tank and F-22 fighter jet, he searched for some less important parameter data in the database. This humanoid exoskeleton mecha cannot be said to exist in the real world, but he is certain that Gu Wanner cannot obtain the corresponding data as a reference. What about Lao Lu? I'll go and explain it to Wanner now. Hang up the phone. Gu Deong quickly explained to Gu Wanner. Is it so difficult? Gu Wanner frowned. After a while, she finally sent a message back to Yuan. 1.3 million is 1.3 million. If you can make it and satisfy me, I can add an extra 100,000 for the manual fee. Get it done. Yuan breathed a sigh of relief. Thank you, Miss Gu. However, according to my rules here, the manual fees can be paid later, and the material fees required for these productions must be paid in advance. Okay, send me your bank card number and I'll transfer the money to you. Gu Wana replied. Okay. Lu Yuan sent an expression over. Then, holding the bank card, quickly send your card number over. After a moment, he received a transfer message from Gu Wana. Your bank card has received 1 million yuan, with a balance of ***. 05 yuan. Chapter 3. Anti-Missile Exoskeleton Mecha, This is the Real. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The money has been received and will be completed within 3 months. I will send it directly to you by express delivery. Lu Yuan happily replied on his phone. Then he stood up and turned on the lighting in the office area, starting to draw a design diagram of the anti-missile exoskeleton mecha on his computer. Busy intervals. Gu Daong called him. Dear brother. Let's discuss, can you also give me a futuristic mecha toy? Lu Yuan rubbed his slightly sour eyes and said, okay, the price is 1.25 million yuan. Don't say brother, I don't take care of you. What? 1.25 million. Lao Lu, are we still not brothers anymore? Can you also say the price for export? Do you believe that we won't customize a few military toys for you in the future? Gu Daong pretended to be angry and shouted. If you don't want to, forget it. I haven't had time for the past 3 months, so you can play wherever you want to cool down. Lu Yuan didn't explain much either. Hang up the phone directly and bury your head to continue drawing the design diagram of the anti-missile exoskeleton mecha. Rest for 4 hours every day. Finally, on the 3rd day, he completely drew the analysis diagram of the entire mecha on the computer. The first step is to take care of it. Let's catch a nap first, and then go buy enough materials tomorrow to start making the main body of the mecha. Lu Yuan yawned. Turn off the computer on the workbench. He fell on the sofa in the studio and soon fell into a deep sleep. Boss, I'll take these used cars and send them all to the Lu Yuan studio in the suburbs. The 3-way catalytic converter doesn't disassemble or replace them. Early the next morning, Lu Yuan came to the second-hand car recycling market, specializing in catching the cheapest second-hand cars. As a money-saving expert, when Gu Daong customized military toys before, Lu Yuan easily found a way to save material costs. Purchase a used car. Disassemble the components from above for recasting. Especially in the area of engines, a single piece of used car engine material can produce dozens of toy engines, which is completely profitable. However, this humanoid exoskeleton mecha is quite troublesome. The quotation should not be too high, and the components used should not be too poor, otherwise during manned flights, one may accidentally send the person away. The key is that he will try it out himself and can only ship after confirming that there are no problems. Not ensuring safety is also irresponsible to himself. 3,000 yuan per ton, fortunately pure titanium is not very expensive. Otherwise, if this wave continues, at least 1/10 of the production cost of 1 million yuan would have to be removed. Leaving the second-hand car market, Lu Yuan went to the metal wholesale factory again and ordered several tons of pure titanium metal and tungsten gold mine. The main body of the anti-missile exoskeleton mecha, as well as the external armor layer, all require the use of tungsten steel titanium alloy. The prices of these two metal tungsten gold mines are significantly higher than those of pure titanium. Even the price of tungsten gold ore, which has not been forged yet, has directly reached about 90,000 tons. In the afternoon, Lu Yuan went to some recycling stations and purchased some parts that were dismantled from electrical appliances. In the evening, I ordered dozens of tons of seawater from a certain treasure and requested to transport it from the coastal city to the yard outside the handicraft workshop within half a month. I waited for 3 days. The first batch of materials were sent to Lu Yuan's toy customization studio, where various metals used to make anti-missile exoskeleton mecha were stacked in a small yard outside. Lu Yuan immediately began to get busy. As a principled person, no matter how complicated the manual customization is, he cannot violate the rules he has set. Complete the production and delivery of handmade toys within a maximum of 3 months, otherwise compensate the customer with 10 times the manufacturing cost. The pressure is immense. Lu Yuan was busy with his work and stopped halfway to take a sip of cold water. Previously, I made military toys for Gu Deong. Although it was also very complex, the size of the finished product was not very large. Compared to the 2-meter-high anti-missile exoskeleton mecha this time, a month's time will not seem very tight. On the 10th day, Lu Yuan successfully utilized several purchased metals and second-hand cars to melt tungsten steel titanium alloys with excellent Mohs hardness, impact resistance, and metal yield properties. Subsequently, he spent about 20 days successfully building the main framework of the anti-missile exoskeleton mecha according to the drawings. Continue to invest for another half-month. We use palladium extracted from the ternary catalyst of used cars, as well as deuterium and tritium extracted from seawater. Create the energy system for the entire anti-missile exoskeleton mecha. The miniature arc reactor. In the following 40 or so days, Lu Yuan has once again produced electromagnetic generators, electromagnetic anti-gravity components, and brainwave control devices that can achieve mind control. As long as you wear the mecha helmet, you can directly use the brainwave control device. Let the entire anti-missile exoskeleton mecha make any desired reactions according to the user's ideas, including commands such as walking, running, and flying. Fortunately, for the production of micro-reactors, the equipment requirements are not high. Just a slight modification of the previous equipment and machine tools can be used. Otherwise, it would be quite difficult to complete such a realistic anti-missile exoskeleton mecha within 3 months. Write the final control program. Lu Yuan looked at the anti-missile exoskeleton mecha with satisfaction. This is the romance of a real man. The humanoid structure of the golden ratio, combined with a special coating layer on the outside, and the miniature arc reactor with blue light flashing on the mecha chest. The entire mecha looks full of futuristic technology. Chapter 4. Before shipment, we need to test the goods, and I am very responsible to the owner. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Alpha, activate mech login mode. At night. Lu Yuan voice control, open the login mode in the driver's cabin. The anti-missile exoskeleton mecha, filled with futuristic winds, has a small reactor on its chest as the center, with a slit at the edge, revealing the landing module of the pilot inside. The internal space is not very large, and some relatively soft cushioning materials almost cover the entire interior of the mecha. As Lu Yuan approaches, the open tungsten steel titanium alloy armor plate automatically adjusts its position and angle, completely wrapping his body. The scales of armor closed tightly against his body, and the squeezing pressure was also well controlled. A little heavier is too tight. Lighter ones may feel too loose. Alpha, report mech status. The helmet mask is closed. At this point, Lu Yuan completed the brainwave connection with the mecha. A picture similar to what the eyes see automatically appeared in front of me. Mini Brain Alpha begins scanning mecha. DD. Scanning completed. The energy core micro arc reactor is functioning properly, the energy converter electromagnetic generation device is functioning properly, the power engine electromagnetic anti-gravity component is functioning properly, the weapon system is functioning properly, and the brainwave control system is functioning properly. Great Alpha, let's start testing the maneuverability of the anti-missile exoskeleton mecha now. Please be sure to provide feedback on the mecha data at any time. Good Master. Electronic synthesized sound response. Lu Yuan focused and began to familiarize himself with the brainwave control system of the anti-missile exoskeleton mecha. Due to relying on brainwave thinking, Lu Yuan was not used to it at first. When he lifted his left foot, his body almost fell to the ground due to losing balance. Boom! The heavy footsteps fell. The concrete floor of Lu Yuan's studio has been punctured by anti-missile exoskeleton mecha with 1 foot. It is obvious that he has seized his power. Fortunately, when he developed this mecha before, he was already familiar with how to operate it in half a minute. Lu Yuan had already fully mastered the basic movements of walking and running of this mecha. The next step is to test the flight mode and the emergency avoidance function of the mini-intelligent brain. Lu Yuan wore an anti-missile exoskeleton mech and walked all the way to the courtyard outside the studio. There are not many people here usually. There are a few scattered households with lights on, but they all sit on the sofa watching TV, or holding their phones while watching videos. No one noticed a shining metallic mech moving less than 100 meters away in the darkness. The anti-missile exoskeleton mecha is ready to take off, and the efficiency of the arc reactor is turned on to 15%. Energy conversion completed. Electromagnetic anti-gravity components ready. The sound of alpha rang in my ears. Lu Yuan felt his body being propelled into mid-air by the electromagnetic anti-gravity force field released by the mech. Shwa! The tungsten steel titanium alloy armor behind the mecha opens, releasing several invisible anti-gravity fields. The anti-missile exoskeleton mecha, carrying land from afar, instantly collided with the courtyard wall ahead at an extremely fast speed. Alpha. Detected an impending collision obstacle, the system automatically takes over the mecha. Just as there was less than 10 meters away from the courtyard wall, the electromagnetic anti-gravity component at the bottom of the mecha's feet rapidly increased its power output. Directly pushing the land towards the direction of the sky, it quickly rose to a height of nearly 100 meters, successfully avoiding the impending collision. The security is pretty good, so there shouldn't be any problems. The emergency avoidance function of the micro-intelligent system can forcibly take over the control of the mecha with the goal of protecting the user. Even if Miss Jean encounters any emergency situation while flying in the air, she doesn't have to worry about encountering danger due to operational errors. The mecha's speed begins to increase. The current speed is 200 km per hour. The mecha's speed begins to increase. The current speed is 400 km per hour. The mecha's speed begins to increase. The current speed is 600 km per hour. Test the basic performance of the mecha. Lu Yuan plans to find a place to try this mecha attack mode. Electromagnetic orbital radiation. And magnetic storm electromagnetic cannons. The main principle is still to use an electromagnetic generator to convert the energy of a miniature arc reactor, achieve electromagnetic orbital rays with a burning effect, and a magnetic storm electromagnetic cannon with an annihilation effect. The magnetic storm electromagnetic cannon is further divided into 3 levels of attacks. Targeting electronic component failure attacks, electronic component paralysis attacks, and molecular fragmentation attacks caused by magnetic storms. However, while Lu Yuan was controlling the anti-missile exoskeleton mecha, searching for a suitable location, and testing the effectiveness of the mecha's attack, the celestial eye detection system of a near-Earth satellite directly locks its position. Shing City Air Defense Warning Center. At this moment, the unidentified flying object intrusion alarm sounded. Alert! Alert! An unidentified flying object has been detected approaching rapidly at a speed of 800 km per hour. Alert! Alert! An unidentified flying object has been detected approaching rapidly at a speed of 1000 km per hour. Alert! Alert! An unidentified flying object has been detected approaching rapidly at a speed of 1,200 km per hour. Images detected by near-Earth satellites automatically appear on the large screen in the control room. The bright silver and red intersecting metal humanoid mecha is flying rapidly towards their base at a speed of over 1,000 kilometers per hour. Isn't Chapter 5 just about trying a toy? It's necessary to launch a fighter. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What is this? A humanoid aircraft. It's so fast. It's constantly improving. Coming towards us. Hurry up. Sound the alarm. We're going to be invaded by the Terminator. Chaos. The entire Shing City Air Defense Warning Center is in chaos. When the person in charge Wu Weiming received the alarm message, he was completely dumbfounded. A humanoid mech. Isn't this special alien Terminator only found in movies and TV shows? Quick. Contact the nearest Air Force command immediately. Request Air Force intervention. Wu Weiming was stunned for a moment and immediately had someone contact the Air Force base near Xingshi. This is no longer something they can handle. What exactly is this? Foreign humanoid aircraft? Or extraterrestrial beings descending on the blue star? Wu Weiming carefully examined the humanoid mecha on the large screen. The armor made of all metal is covered with intricate patterns. A glowing device flickering blue light on the chest, continuously spreading a series of faint streams of light along the pattern of the mecha. There are no external flying devices, and there are no thrusters behind, making the entire mecha seem to completely violate the laws of physics. The fighter jet is ready to take off. 053 is ready. 021 is ready. 156 is ready. A few miles away from the Xingshi Air Defense Warning Center, several fighter planes took off with live fire and quickly approached the area where the anti-missile exoskeleton mecha was located. The air interception weapons at the Air Defense Warning Center are now fully prepared, aiming at the rapidly approaching Yuan. But at this moment, Yuan, who was flying in the air, suddenly lowered his altitude and used the jungle to conceal his figure. The Celestial Eye reconnaissance system on near-Earth satellites also lost its target at this moment. Completely unable to scan any signal from the other party. What's going on? Why is the target suddenly missing? It must be hidden. The other party must be equipped with a special shielding device that can block the Heavenly Eye system. Damn it. Is it the new type of detection drone created by those guys from Beautiful Country? Air Defense Warning Center. Xingshi 3rd Air Force Base. Everyone felt powerless at this moment. Although the near-Earth satellite had already locked onto the opponent, in the blink of an eye, the unknown mecha disappeared completely. No electronic signals appeared. It is also impossible to capture with the Tianyan camera. It is evident how powerful the shielding device carried on that unknown humanoid aircraft is. Let the military intervene. Use the most primitive methods. Even if it's a carpet search. We need to find it. Wu Weiming gritted his teeth. I agree. The enemy has infiltrated our territory, we cannot let it go. No matter what reason they have, if they invade our Dragon Kingdom territory, they must be prepared to stay forever. The two commanders of the Air Force Base nodded at the same time. After discussion, the three of them. Finally, the situation here will be handed over to the military department, which will arrange for troops to conduct mountain search operations. The Air Force and Early Warning Center dispatched fighter jets and near-Earth satellites to cooperate and prevent the unknown mecha from escaping from high altitude. On the other side, Yuan, who was flying close to the ground, felt a thin layer of cold sweat rising from his forehead. Just now, he received a prompt from the intelligent brain Alpha that there were near-Earth satellites locking their positions, and 3 fighter jets were approaching them. Yuan immediately activated the signal shielding device to lower the flight altitude of the anti-missile exoskeleton mecha. This quickly escaped from the lock of those detectors. Don't you just try a toy. You need to drive out the fighter jets from the Air Force Base to chase me. Yuan is somewhat speechless. He is not from a family like Gu Daong and Gu Wan'er. He has served in the military for the past 3 generations. If we really catch him. Discovered that he recycled used cars, used computer chips, and assembled them into handmade toys to sell at a high price. So he must be finished. Hurry up and go back. We'll talk about the matter of experimenting with weapons when the heat of the past few days passes. Lu glanced at the fighter jet with a mecha screen. Although his specific location was not locked, the 3 fighter jets were still hovering over the vicinity of Shingshi, with no intention of leaving. If discovered. His anti-missile exoskeleton mech cannot be concealed in a short period of time. If the delivery is not made according to the agreement, he will have to compensate a full penalty of 10 million yuan for breach of contract. Just his meager savings, let alone 10 million, even 1 million cannot be withdrawn. Schwa. Lu Yuan controls the anti-missile exoskeleton mecha and flies through the yard into the studio in the dark. Landing at a designated location in an area with steel plates placed on the ground. Shu. The internal protection mechanism is lifted, and the armor of the anti-missile exoskeleton mecha is activated. After escaping from the inside of the mech, Lu Yuan quickly closed the door and breathed a heavy sigh of relief. At this moment, his spirit relaxed. A strong sense of distress immediately struck. He has been busy for almost 3 months, and he hasn't slept soundly for a whole day. Today, the anti-missile exoskeleton mecha has been fully completed, and he can also sleep comfortably. What he didn't expect was. The Air Force base in Shingshi doesn't seem to have any intention of giving up. Every day, a fighter jet patrols the air, occasionally whistling overhead. Until less than a week left until the delivery time, the fighter planes at the Air Force base had no intention of stopping either. It seems that the functionality of this weapon cannot be tested, otherwise if we delay further, even if I mortgage the studio, it won't be enough to compensate. I let out a sigh. Lu Yuan had to pack the anti-missile exoskeleton mecha. According to the address provided by Gu Wan'er, send it directly to her home by express delivery. Has anyone seen this genre? Chapter 6. Miss Gu, your customized toy is coming soon. You are listening at novelfull.audio. How did it go? Did you get anything? Shing City Air Defense Warning Center. Wu Weiming looked at the documents on the table and asked Gu Chuan, the person in charge of the military dispatch. It has been several days since the last appearance of the humanoid mecha, and the Air Defense Warning Center has not captured any further clues about it. It's like disappearing completely. Near-Earth satellites equipped with the Celestial Eye system are also unable to detect. No, we have completely cleaned up the nearby mountains and stationed there at night. At night, there were still people on duty and patrolling, but no trace of the humanoid mech was found. Gu Chuan, with the rank of major on his shoulder, shook his head. He has also seen the video and photos of the humanoid aircraft A, which are very clear and not blurry images formed by reflective points captured by near-Earth satellites. A cold metallic feel. A strong future wind. It is obvious that it is a high-tech product. Perhaps that thing was instigated by my arch-rival Wang Zhuo. A few years ago, we chose to develop a single soldier exoskeleton mecha project together, and the research and development results can increase people's individual combat capabilities several times. I suspect that this thing is very likely the test model he created for testing, perhaps to prove to me that he could have done that project without me. Zhang Dehai, the chief mechanical engineer of Factory 106, stroked his slightly long beard and slowly spoke up. The 9 major military factories of the military headquarters. Targeting different military projects and technologies, Factory 105 has conducted extensive research on robots and humanoid mechs. Coincidentally, Zhang Dehai was transferred from Factory 105 before, so he also chose to reopen this project. In addition, the two of them had a cooperative relationship before, and he suspected that the guy intentionally provoked and sent it to the vicinity of his 106 factory after completing the humanoid exoskeleton mecha, exposing it for the Heavenly Eye system to discover. Otherwise, how could that humanoid mech suddenly disappear and be completely lost to them? Mr. Zhang's statement is quite reasonable. Judging from the subsequent anti-detection capabilities of the humanoid mech, the Heavenly Eye system poses no threat to it at all. The reason why it was exposed before could only be that it deliberately did so, and the purpose may be the same as what Mr. Zhang said, it was for eye flushing. Well, for testing. Wu Weiming nodded and said. He has also heard about this project before. He just didn't expect that the two military commanders, who held military ranks comparable to generals, would still have such a childish side. Okay, let me call Lao Wang and ask if he made this humanoid mech. If that's the case, we don't have to waste manpower and resources searching for that mech anymore. Zhang Dehai picked up his phone and directly called Mr. Wang from Factory 105. Soon. The other person's phone is answered. Lao Zhang, what day are you thinking of calling me today? Zhang Dehai. It's nothing, I just wanted to ask you, is the humanoid exoskeleton mech you're in charge of already entering the final testing stage? How do you know? Wang Zhuo was startled in his heart. Subconsciously looking towards the humanoid exoskeleton mecha being tested not far away. The metal armor almost completely covers the entire body of the tester, with only the eyes using nano-bulletproof glass. This matter is top secret. Except for the people and factory director in this laboratory, the other chief engineers in Factory 105 are not clear. It's nothing, I accidentally saw it a few days ago. Not to mention, your humanoid exoskeleton mech is really good. It seems that you will probably get the top spot in this military exercise. Zhang Dehai congratulated Wang Zhuo with a hint of displeasure. So it's like this. Wang Zhuo was stunned for a moment. He led the development of a humanoid exoskeleton mech, but only transported a damaged concept machine to the headquarters for destruction. Unexpectedly, Zhang Dehai saw it. But he couldn't help feeling a little proud in his heart. This time, Zhang Dehai will congratulate him, indicating that this guy's humanoid exoskeleton mecha project should have failed. Alright, I've finished asking. That humanoid mech was created by Lao Wang, so we don't have to waste time on this matter anymore. Zhang Dehai hung up the phone. Turning his head in frustration, he said to the few people in the conference room. Wu Weiming and Gu Chuan's faces relaxed slightly, and they finally didn't need to continue staring at the dense mountain forest. Especially Gu Chuan. At the moment when the decision was made, he quickly picked up the communication equipment and notified the lieutenant stationed in the mountainous area that the task was lifted, and all soldiers returned to camp for training. I finally left, but unfortunately, my anti-missile exoskeleton mech, which has not yet completed weapon system testing, is almost delivered to Miss Jean. Lu Yuan stood in the yard outside the workplace. Looking up at the fighters leaving in the sky, some speechless roast. At this time, the anti-missile exoskeleton mecha sent by logistics courier has been delivered to the city where Gu Waner is located. First, inform Miss Jinju to stay at home and wait, otherwise the courier company will deliver it later and no one will be there. It will be quite troublesome to bring it back. Today is the last day of order delivery. If he misses today, he will have to compensate Miss Jean 10 times the penalty for breach of contract tomorrow. Lu Yuan took out his phone. Quickly edit the information and send it to Gu Waner. Miss Gu, your handmade customized toys will arrive soon. To avoid missing the delivery time, please wait at home temporarily. Chapter 7. How tall is an alloy mech for one person? Are you sure? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Oh good, no problem. Gu Waner quickly replied on the chat interface. She, who was originally still sleeping in, suddenly regained her energy and kicked away the blanket, quickly jumping out of bed. 3 months of time. She thought that Lu Yuan, like other toy customizers, had not made the alloy mech she wanted. I didn't expect the delivery to arrive today. Xiao Bai, be good. We will soon see the gift for our brother. Put down your phone. Gu Wana reached out from the display cabinet by the bedside and picked up a silicone doll that looked very similar to her, carefully patting its head. This is a birthday gift from her brother Gu Chuan on her 20th birthday. All joints of the body can move. The workmanship is also very exquisite. Therefore, she plans to give Gu Chuan a handmade customized toy when he turns 30 this year. Coincidentally, she recently heard about this military exercise featuring alloy mechs with individual exoskeletons. Unfortunately, after asking the military toy customization workshop she knew, no one was willing to take on this order. Fortunately, 3 months ago on her aunt's birthday, she unexpectedly discovered that her cousin Gu Daong had hidden many exquisitely crafted military toys at home. I don't know how much better the workmanship she spent money customizing. The F-22 Raptor fighter jet can fly, and the Type 96 main battle tank can also fire shells. It's almost no different from real. Therefore, Gu Wana tried to customize an alloy mech, hoping that Lu Yuan could make this toy to play with, so that she could give it to her brother as a birthday gift. I don't know if the mobility of that alloy mech can be compared to the F-22 Raptor fighter jet and the Type 96 main battle tank. Place the silicone doll properly. Gu Wana quickly rushed into the dressing room of the bedroom and picked out 2 pieces of clothes to put on. Twist open the door and come out. Outside is a whole wall of military toys, as well as some exquisite dolls, neatly arranged in a glass display cabinet. The F-22 Raptor fighter jet and the Type 96 main battle tank are also prominently displayed among them. The soft lighting simulates natural light shining on it, combined with some specially customized mountains, forests, and lakes, making these 2 well-crafted military toys feel like they are in a miniature battlefield. At the same time, I'll go, what exactly is inside here? The weight is heavier than the V12 engine I moved yesterday. And this packaging is too excessive, it's all reinforced frames with steel bars that dare to connect. Outside the villa community, 2 delivery drivers were speechless as they unloaded the anti-missile exoskeleton mecha that had been packed by Lu Yuan. The wooden frame, which is over 2 meters high, is reinforced with metal steel bars. What exactly is inside here that needs to be protected in such an exaggerated way? The goods information on this is filled in as toys, so it should be an alloy model customized by some wealthy person. You also know that these things are super expensive. Maybe just one thing like this can buy a house in our hometown at a reasonable price. The delivery man with a cigarette in his mouth, lying on the outer packaging, carefully examined the information of the goods and said. The man next to him roast. The rich people are getting more and more ridiculous now. If I want to have the money, wouldn't it be good to buy a house and a car directly? The delivery man with a cigarette in his mouth sighed and said, look at the villas nearby. Do you think they are the owners of poor houses and poor cars? Let's hurry up and deliver the goods. After completing this order, there is still a machine at the power plant that needs to be loaded onto the truck. Accompanied by a creak. The anti-missile exoskeleton mecha landed heavily on the trailer carrying heavy objects. 2 people controlling the direction in front. 1 will be implemented later. It was a bit difficult to push the trailer forward and move it. 10 minutes later. 2 delivery drivers arrived at the entrance of Gu Wana's villa, comparing their addresses. As the doorbell rings, Gu Wana, who was waiting for the flowers to almost wither, hurriedly stepped on her slippers and ran out of the room. Hello Miss Gu, this is your logistics package. Please check the contents inside and sign on it if there are no issues. 2 delivery drivers placed the anti-missile exoskeleton mecha in the courtyard outside the villa. Gu Wana blinked strangely. Isn't the custom-made alloy mech only slightly larger than a palm? Why does this packaging look so big? Or is it that this was not delivered by express delivery from Lu Yuan? Doubtfully took the key. With the help of two delivery men, Yuan opened the lock on the welded steel bar. After removing the topmost steel plate, the welded steel bars on all sides can be easily placed flat on the ground. Expose some reinforced wood inside. Obtain the approval of Yuan. Two delivery drivers exhausted their strength and used a pry bar to open the wooden protective layer. Tear it off. Yuan can't wait to come forward and tear off the protective film and foam on the anti-missile exoskeleton armor. The next moment. A high-tech mecha, reaching a height of 2 meters and filled with futuristic elements, appeared before her eyes. The bright silver and red coating has a strong texture, with dense scaly lines covering the entire abdomen, thighs, and inner arms of the mecha. Whether it's workmanship or delicacy, this one-person tall alloy mech is even more exquisite than any toy she has ever seen. So, are you sure this is for me? Did you send it to the wrong address? Okay, for a while. Yuan just regained her senses. A bit confused, he asked the two delivery drivers with a slightly trembling voice. Is there a possibility in Chapter 8 that the mecha I mentioned? You are listening at novelfull.audio. That's right, Miss Gu. Here's your address. Didn't we just call you on the phone? The delivery man took out his phone and logistics information, which perfectly matched Yuan's information. Is there no problem with the information? Yuan became even more confused. She stared blankly at the information retrieved by the delivery man. The shipping address and shipper's information above are indeed from Yuan. Miss Gu, if there's no problem, could you please sign on this? Stupid for a while. The delivery man took out the signed receipt and delivered it to Yuan, coughing lightly and reminding her slightly. Yuan, who was distracted, didn't think much. Subconsciously pick up the signing pen and write your name at the place where you sign for the package. No, this is not the alloy mech toy I customized. After a moment, Yuan regained her senses. At this point, the two delivery drivers had already left, leaving only the 2-meter-high anti-missile exoskeleton mech standing quietly in the middle of the yard. She is a bit dazed. Isn't it the agreed 200 millimeters? Can you make her 2 meters tall even with a size of 20 centimeters? Is this error a bit too large? And this texture? This realistic metal coating? It doesn't seem like a toy at all, okay. Boss Lu, are you sure this item wasn't delivered to the wrong place? Yuan took out her phone. Take a photo of the anti-missile exoskeleton mecha and send it to Yuan for questioning. There was no mistake in delivery. This is the alloy mecha toy you customized, Miss Gu. I will personally pack it and notify the logistics company to come and pick it up. There will definitely be no mistake. Yuan glanced at the handsome and explosive anti-missile exoskeleton mecha and answered positively in the dialog box. Yuan's breath froze. Can this be my customized toy? You mean it's a real single-soldier exoskeleton mecha? I really believe it. So, I mean, is it possible that the alloy mech I'm talking about is just a toy? It's a toy, that's right. I have a toy handmade customization workshop here. What else can it be if it's not a toy? Yuan is somewhat speechless. What was the wrong answer on this girl's paper today? Why keep saying that you sent the wrong product? I am a very strict person, and it is absolutely impossible for me to make such a low-level mistake. Isn't this girl planning to throw the blame and make herself pay 10 times the penalty for breach of contract? Boss Lu, I mean this big guy's size is taller than mine. Are you sure it's still a toy? Yuan is almost driven crazy. Where exactly is the problem with this? Customizing alloy mecha toys well, why inexplicably turned into a big guy who is much taller than a person? Why isn't it a toy? Isn't it that you said the size should be 200 centimeters, requiring a load-bearing compartment, certain maneuverability, and super strong endurance? Is there anything else you want to handle? I did it exactly as you requested. Lu Yuan silently flipped through the previous chat records and confidently said to Gu Wan'er. Even to avoid memory errors. He also took a screenshot of his previous chat history and saved it. What? 200 centimeters. Gu Wan'er was once again confused. Isn't 200 centimeters just 2 meters? I clearly request to customize a 200 millimeters one, but when converted to meters, it's only 0.2 meters, okay. Emotion is because this guy misread the unit behind it. Yeah, it's just 200 centimeters. I also have a screenshot of the order you sent, Miss Gu. Lu Yuan opened his phone album. Find the previous screenshot from inside and send it directly to Gu Wan'er. Gu Wan'er, who thought it was a problem with Lu Yuan, was completely dumbfounded when she saw this screenshot. A few words in 200 centimeters are clearly visible. The avatar is hers, that's right. The time of sending the information was also 3 months ago today. Oops. Gu Wan'er felt her cheeks burning hot and wished she could find a crack in the ground to crawl in. She accidentally typed the wrong size unit. As a result, he even came to question others. Shameful. That's so embarrassing. Now she finally understands. Why was Lu Yuan's previous quote so outrageous, dozens of times more expensive than the toys customized by her cousin Gu Daong? Miss Gu. Are you okay? No, it's okay. Boss Lu, so to speak, this 2-meter-high alloy mech is really a toy you made according to my requirements. Gu Wan'er regained her senses and asked with confirmation. Of course, Miss Gu, rest assured that I will never make such a low-level mistake. Lu Yuan still patiently replied. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Lu. I am very satisfied with the alloy mech you made. According to the previous agreement, I will pay an additional 100,000 yuan for manual labor on top of 300,000 yuan. After a moment, Gu Wan'er found the previous transfer record and transferred 400,000 renminbi to Lu Yuan. However, she couldn't help but ask Lu Yuan again, Mr. Lu, have you ever thought that this 200 centimeters size toy is a bit outrageous? Lu Yuan didn't waste any time and replied directly in the chat interface, the customer is God. Don't say 200 centimeters, even if it's 2000 centimeters, as long as the price is reasonable, I can still make it for you. Gu Wan'er was speechless in an instant. This is simply a paranoid person. At this point, Lu Yuan sent her another message. Miss Gu, this toy is a bit difficult to control. It's best to read the user manual first to avoid any problems. Chapter 9. Absurd. You call a book a user manual. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A toy actually has instructions for use. Gu Wan'er circled around the anti-missile exoskeleton mecha. Quickly at the feet of the mecha, I found the user manual that Lu Yuan had mentioned. Just when she broke open the piece of wood pressed on top. The whole person is a bit foolish. A user manual with a thickness of over 1 centimeter and a size similar to a primary school textbook undoubtedly appeared before her eyes. Print a few words of instructions on the surface of the book. And below the instructions for use, an electronic version of the QR code is also printed very thoughtfully. As long as you scan with your phone, you can see the electronic version of the user manual uploaded by Lu Yuan online. It's outrageous. With such a thick user manual, even the fighter pilot manual my brother showed me before was not so exaggerated. Gu Wan'er couldn't help but spit out her tongue. However, with patience, I opened the first page of the user manual and carefully browsed through it. This mecha toy is made of reinforced alloy and is equipped with a micro-intelligent brain for assistance. The lighting effect is very cool and can be worn by the human body, with a certain degree of mobility. Before enabling the mecha function, the first step is to bind permissions. The specific operation method is as follows. Click on the diamond-shaped button on the chest of the mecha, which can briefly activate some functions of the mecha and wake up the mecha binding program. After the red light comes on, place your finger on the diamond-shaped button to recognize your fingerprint. When the sound prompt rings, continue with voice input activation commands and perform sound wave binding. Special reminder, only after enabling the sound wave binding can the Mecha login mode be activated. The manned cabin can be opened for subsequent iris binding, and all permissions can be opened. Note: one mech can only bind one person, and if others want to control it, they need to bind the person to give instructions to allow it, or their permissions can be erased. Good guy. This mecha toy is too awesome. Surprisingly, there are so many functions. Yuan's whole body became a bit excited. Fingerprint recognition, voice unlocking, iris binding, these series of security systems are even more outrageous than the fighter planes her brother Lu Chuan took her to see. Click. Yuan couldn't wait to lift her right hand, extend her index finger, and place it on the diamond-shaped button on the chest of the mech. A very faint sound sounded. The pitch-black diamond-shaped buttons lit up in vain, emitting a deep red glow. Please state the temporary control command. The sound of electronic synthesis sounds from inside the mecha. Boss Yuan earns a lot of money and sells toys to the Milky Way. Refer to the user manual. Yuan silently recited the temporary control command set by Yuan. Temporary control command confirmation completed, activate mecha level I control permission. The sound of electronic synthesis is coming again. The deep red light on the chest of the mecha began to change, transforming into a flowing blue color. Open the mecha landing module. Yuan followed the user manual again. The landing module is open. The closed chest of the mech, the textured armor plate begins to move, and the armor plate near the chest plate opens to both sides. The armor plates on the arms and feet also split open, revealing the mech's manned compartment filled with black padding inside. Yuan excitedly walked over. Step on the inside of the mech with both feet. Make a few clicks. The armor plate on her feet began to close, gradually wrapping around her body. The black substance inside is very soft. Even if the armor was completely closed, Yuan did not feel any discomfort. On the contrary. She also has the illusion of lying on a soft bed covered in a duck-down blanket. Shoo. A few seconds later. The armor plate of the mecha is completely closed. The sharp-edged metal mask extended from the top of her head, completely covering Yuan's face. At this point, the sound of electronic synthesis resounds again. The overload buffer device of the manned cabin is being adjusted, and the iris binding function is enabled. Please do not close your eyes during the scanning process. The pitch-black interior space of the mech was scanned from top to bottom by a red light rising in front of Yuan's eyes. In less than half a second, the red scanning light disappears. Iris binding completed, activate Mecha Level 2 control permissions. The neurovisual projection function is activated, and the micro-assisted intelligent brain alpha unlocking is completed. Welcome the owner to carry the T-000 anti-missile exoskeleton mecha. Yuan is in a state of confusion. I suddenly realized that I could see the scene outside the mecha. Just like her eyes, directly through the metal mask of the mech, she could clearly see the vast area outside. Full of a sense of technology. Make her have the illusion that this is a real mecha. What's going on? My eyes can actually see the courtyard outside through the metal armor plate of the mech. Yuan muttered curiously. But her voice just fell. A sound of electronic synthesis answered in her ear. This is the neurovisual projection function. It can combine with the external sensing detectors of the mecha to project the external environment directly onto the owner's nerve center, forming a visual effect similar to what the eyes see. Who are you? Yuan was startled by the sudden sound. Answer the master, I am your micro-assisted intelligent brain alpha, which can assist you in controlling this anti-missile exoskeleton mecha. Micro-brain alpha answers. Subsequently, a small robot in the shape of a sphere with 2 arms was projected into her visual central nervous system. It looks very kawaii. Chapter 10. You are a special toy mech, and surprisingly, you are listening at Novel Full.audio. Wow! It's so powerful. This toy has such advanced technology. Yuan stared at Alpha's projection and took a sudden glance, then she was so excited that she collapsed inside the mech. Shwa! The anti-missile exoskeleton mecha, which completed the brainwave connection, also slightly bent its legs and jumped into mid-air from the load-bearing steel plate in the yard. It's just that Yuan hasn't been happy for long. The anti-missile exoskeleton mecha lost its balance in the air and fell heavily towards the ground in the yard. With a snap, the bluestone bricks were smashed into a small humanoid pit by the anti-missile exoskeleton mecha weighing several hundred pounds. The densely packed cracks also spread towards the nearby bluestone bricks centered around her. What's going on? This mech seemed to jump up just now. Yuan lay dumbfounded in the mecha cabin. I have no idea what exactly happened just now. Just feeling that the toy mech seemed to move, she fell towards the ground. T000 uses brainwave control, but according to your ideas, make corresponding actions. The explanation of assisting the intelligent brain's alpha due diligence. Yuan opened her mouth slightly. Isn't this special a toy? It's fingerprint recognition again. Sound waves are serious again. And the auxiliary intelligent brain with iris binding and interactive functions, now even those brain wave controls have come. Is this a bit too realistic? Isn't it true that this mecha only has a certain level of maneuverability? Coupled with this brainwave control, isn't it a bit exaggerated? Yuan muttered to herself. Although she was not quite sure what it was, the name sounded very tall and sophisticated. However, this time the auxiliary brain did not answer again. The question asked by Yuan has exceeded its comprehension range. It's like asking someone why you can walk and why you can think. Yuan, who had not received an answer, did not think much. Continuing to study the maneuverability and brainwave control function of this toy mech. Since you can control it according to my ideas, is that similar to controlling your body normally? Yuan imagined herself getting up from the ground and standing on the load-bearing steel plate like before. The mecha outside. It is indeed what she thinks. Slowly move your hands, feet, and limbs, and stand up unsteadily from the ground. But just as she was about to move forward, the mecha's right foot tripped directly on its left foot, falling to the ground with a loud bang again and again. Yuan instinctively touched her face. No pain. There was no discomfort either. Just like this mech toy, it perfectly absorbs and filters the collisions generated during falls. This shocked her a lot. A mecha toy, how could it be made so tall? Not only is the control system so powerful, but there is also a very good security protection mechanism. Hee, this toy is amazing. When my brother's birthday comes a few days later, I'll just wear it and go play like this. I'm sure it'll startle him a lot, right? Yuan had a good idea in her mind. On Gu Chuan's birthday the day after tomorrow, she made a dazzling appearance wearing this toy mech. She can definitely make her older brother's eyeballs come out. How can I quickly master the control skills of this toy mech with the assistance of intelligent brain? Yuan continued to try for a while. The mecha's hands and feet are still a bit disobedient, and it walks unsteadily. Suddenly, she thought of the instructions for using the toy mech, which said that if you encounter any problems while using it, you can directly ask the AI Alpha. Didi. Turn on the auxiliary learning function. Alpha popped up a dialog box in front of Yuan. It has basic function learning and demonstration, as well as advanced function learning and demonstration. Choose basic. Yuan didn't even think about it. Directly selected basic functions. She hasn't even completed the beginner's level, so it's useless to directly start the advanced skill learning demonstration. If she accidentally damages this big guy, what will she give her big brother as a birthday gift in the next 2 days? The basic learning demonstration function has been activated, and now it is walking instruction. Please lift your right foot and step forward. The sound of Alpha rang out. Yuan took a deep breath. Focus on lifting your right foot according to the prompts and step towards the blue stone brick ground in front of you. Boom. The heavy footsteps of the mecha. Heavy falls between 2 bluestone bricks. Step these 2 bluestone bricks directly into several pieces. The action is completed with a pass rate of 35%. Please lift your left foot and step forward. Alpha continues to prompt. Yuan tirelessly followed suit. It took her about half an hour to increase the pass rate of walking teaching to over 60%. Starting the arm swing teaching now, please raise your right arm over your head and extend your left arm forward. Please rotate both arms and adjust them to be parallel to your body. Please pick up the wood on the ground, pile it up and overlap with each other. Please pick up the wood on the ground and twist it off with your arm. The follow-up basic teaching is still ongoing. From the beginning, Yuan was not obedient and could quickly control the mecha toys, stacking the wood on the ground together. Then twist them one by one into 2 pieces. Hey! I can finally control the toy mech, the handling is really amazing. Yuan excitedly controls the mecha and performs various movements in the yard. Don't mention how happy I am in my heart. Previously, the toys she customized were mostly controlled by a remote control. Compared to this alloy mech toy, it's instantly turned into a mess. The basic teaching land section has been completed, and now we are starting the basic teaching flight section. Airplane mode is starting. Suddenly, Alpha's prompt reappears. Yuan, who was just happy, was a bit confused. Teaching flight mode. Are you such a toy mech that you still want to take off?